Welcome to Equip, Build, and Mature. Got a windy day here in Crete, but today on this Tuesday I want to share a word of encouragement with you, and we'll be coming from Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So Genesis 1:27, this is how it reads. So God created man in his own image. He created him in the image of God. He created them male and female. I want to briefly list 6 implications of being made in the image of God. The importance of the image of God cannot be overstated. Its significance should touch every facet of our lives. I want you to notice with me these 6 implications of being made in God's image. First, being made in the image of God, humans are unique among all God's creatures. Our qualities and our basic makeup is totally different from plants and animals. We've been made a little lower than the heavenly beings, and we've been crowned with glory and honor. That's Psalm 8:5. The high point of all creation was not a mountain, not a river, not a whale, not a frog, not a volcano, not a galaxy, not even a star. We as humans were the apex of God's creation because we alone bear the image of God. Second, the image of God means that all humans have inbuilt worth and dignity. This is one major reason that abortion is dead wrong in the eyes of God. A human is a human, no matter how small, no matter their stage of development, no matter their environment, and no matter their degree of dependence on another human. Vulnerable human life must be protected, even if that life is old, or even if that life is sick, or even if that person wants to end their own life, they must be protected. Because every human is made in God's image, descended from the same human pair, so there is no place for prejudice, no place for partiality or feelings of superiority. Third, with the proper understanding of the image of God, we can understand what it means to be fully human. We live out our deepest identity not in self-expression and not in sexual fulfillment. We live out our deepest identity in obedience to and love for our Creator, the one who made us. When the serpent told Adam and Eve that they would be like God on the day they ate of the forbidden fruit, he totally lied, because they were already like God, because they were made in his image. Fourth, the doctrine of the image of God reminds us that the world we live in, the universe, the cosmos, it belongs to God, all of it. In the ancient world, a conquering king put his statue in different locations throughout his realm to clarify that it was his dominion. In the same way, pagan temples in the ancient world always included images of the God who was thought to dwell there. Well, as humans, our presence in the world as God's image bearers testifies that this is God's world. The God who made everything does not live in temples made by humans. Luke recorded Paul of saying that in Acts 17:24. We are God's images spread across the face of the earth. That's Acts chapter 17, verse 26. So the idea, the concept of the image of God teaches us how to live and how to worship in spirit and in truth. Fifth, the image of God in us means that you and I belong to God. When Jesus asked the Pharisees whose likeness was on the denarius, they replied, It's Caesar's likeness. We read of that in Matthew 22, verses 20 and 21. They should have also stopped to consider whose likeness was on them. This is Jesus' reply in Matthew 22, 21. Give then to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. Caesar can have his taxes, but humans belong to God, not to Caesar, not to humans. Sixth, the image of God teaches us how we are to truly worship. Throughout all of the Old Testament, God's covenant people were warned. And we read of this in Exodus chapter 20, verses 4 and 5. This is what they were warned of. Do not make an idol for yourself, whether in the shape of anything in the heavens above, or on the earth below, or in the waters under the earth. Do not bow and worship to them, and do not serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. The God of Israel could not be seen until one day he was. Now all worship must be focused only on Jesus, who is God's promised Messiah. Jesus was a man like us, except he never sinned. He was the Son of God the Father, and he was the image of the invisible God. Colossians 1:15, Paul writes this: He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. I want to encourage you today. Remember who he is, and remember who you are. He created us to represent him. He created us to reflect him as we live in this world. So our choice to sin broke our ability to represent him and to reflect him as we were meant to be. But if by obedient faith we access Jesus' sacrificial blood, then he redeems us so we are once again able to stop choosing to live as slaves of sin and choose to live as his covenant disciples. Guys, I hope you have a great Tuesday, and may God continue to bless us as we discover what it truly means to be created in the image of God. Take care.